Hello, everybody. So, the latest death battle came out, and yeah, Ruby vs. Maki. Uh, I'm not gonna lie, this was a fun one. So, let's start off with what I think, what I like, what I don't like, so on and so forth. So, initially, I was actually pleasantly surprised with this, just because I watched the previews, and the previews for Ruby in particular did not have very good editing. And then let me just say, the stuff in this episode, the editing is far better. So I don't know if they were holding back or it was time constraint and then they had more time later. I don't know. Don't know, don't care. All I know is this is amazingly edited. I love the transitions. I love the way it looks. I love the contrasting color. Whoever edited this did an amazing job. Then moving on to Maka. I like Maka's summary, but from I haven't read Soul Eater, so I don't know anything. But my friend has, and yeah, he basically said they spoiled the entire thing, which like I get. Soul Eater is done, but at the same time, let's be real. If the biggest form of Soul Eater like engagement, right, is the anime, and the anime never covered the original ending of the manga. So, in other words, they kind of spoiled what would most likely be a lot of people's reintroduction to Soul Eater, which I don't feel amazing about, but at the same time, it's fine. Then moving on for Volume 9, I really like that they did not spoil Volume 9. That's very nice. I'm not gonna lie, Death Battle is not exactly the nicest when it comes to spoilers, which can make it really hard to be introduced to new characters, but they did a really good job with Ruby section and then spoiled all of Soul Eater, so, Also, I'm not gonna lie, the power scaling is fine. It's not amazing. Obviously, I've said it before, I don't power scale Soul Eater, but I do power scale Ruby. And I think that it's disingenuous to imply that Adam blocking a particle beam is the best iteration of Lightspeed. Look, you guys have all seen, you go to Versus Wiki, you go to Speed, you can find a lot of speed calculations for Ruby getting into Lightspeed, and then there's some that are just simply put logical. Like in Volume 3, when Penny fought Pyrrha, Penny was able to shoot a laser beam, and Pyrrha was able to dodge multiple of them. I wonder if that means Ruby, if Volume 3 Pyrrha is relative to Lightspeed. Like, to be fair though, it was interesting to hear them talk about the Atlas Bomb. Now, I was surprised by how they scaled that. I was a little worried at the beginning when they only showed her kicking the Griffith into the metal, and that only coming out to 11 tons, so I genuinely was kind of like, oh no, are they about to make Ruby like a street tier character? But yeah, like, it turned out much better than I thought. To be fair though, Lightspeed is always kind of a pain, but I just think the way Death Battle implied it, okay, basically the easiest way to say this is they have so many methods to get Ruby to Lightspeed through Penny being able to literally shoot lasers, and Ironwood's like gun being able to shoot laser, his mega gun, right? And they pick the weirdest one. Like, why? Is it because I guess you could make the argument that like Winter is stronger than Ruby, therefore like the scaling isn't applicable, but at the same time Ruby is like one of the fastest characters. So yeah. And I did also find it funny that they used it by essentially calc stacking. It's not the exact same. I'm using that term very loosely, but the idea that Ruby's petal burst is more than a 2 times amp in speed means that Adam being around 47 or 42 or whatever they put it at the speed of light, and then being a 2 times amp puts Ruby at light speed, right? It's quite odd, because they could have just gone with a different set of calculations, any of the other 500 ways to get Ruby the Lightspeed. But yeah, whatever. Not much you can do about it, right? Anyway, now let's get into what I actually really did like. That was the fight. Okay, the fight was really good. They got Ruby's original voice actor. They got the original composer for Ruby to work on the music. The 3D animation looks really good. It's very fluid. There's good choreography. There's good colors. Like, everything about it is good. Most of the shots are really good. Obviously, there is a little bit of jank, but, like, at the same time, I'm comparing that jank to the peak of the show, right? Like, oh, what do you mean Death Battle doesn't look as good as RWBY Volume 9? Wow. Like, it's an unfair comparison, comparing a TV show to a fun internet show, right? Especially one that's independently funded now, right? Anyway, yeah. So overall, the fight was really good. I'm not gonna spoil too much. The outcome was pretty obvious, though. I'm not gonna lie. Thankfully, it wasn't a Miles versus Midoriya situation where, even though the winner was obvious, the random people in the back kept trying to say that Miles was Goku Versal or whatever. But yeah, it was overall fun. Both me and my friend really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna give it a ranking today because it is an internet show, so it is very different from an actual TV show ranking. But if you like RWBY or Soul Eater, I would recommend it. And if you're one of those people who really likes Death Battle and versus, power scaling and versus weight and stuff like that, right? I would also recommend it because it is a very fun time. And honestly, I think it's one of the better Death Battles this season. Like, it's definitely better than Omni-Man versus Bardock, and probably better than Godzilla. It's definitely better than Godzilla vs. Hulk. To be fair, there is more thematics, ironically enough, in Godzilla vs. Hulk, but I think the animation is better in this instance, and also just the editing is overall rather nice, and it doesn't feel as contentious, compared to most of the others that have happened this season. It's just a nice, fun death battle. And then you can also tell that they really respected the creators of RWBY, which was very nice. They obviously showed respect to Soul Eater as well, but considering the fact that, hey, Monsiom initially pitched this to Death Battle, right, a long time ago, they obviously have kind of a different dynamic compared to Soul Eater, right? And you can definitely feel that they really did want to show RWBY in a positive light, and they wanted to show the series in a positive light, and they really did succeed. I know this review has been mostly RWBY centric, but hey, I this is going on the RWBY channel, so yeah, where else would it go, right? Anyway, I had a lot of fun. I'm just a guy talking about Death Battle, and today I'm signing